hear.
Alright, as long as you can hear, buddy. Moment of silence, please. And... Alright, you were told... You were given a job that you were to... You need to go into a lair in Indonesia to steal an earring. You will... From a changeling that is in service to the sea dragon. While you're there, you've also been asked to collect 5 samples of blood from 5 different changelings for genetic research. You were offered 10,000 for each sample. All the gear that you needed and transport will be provided, as well as underground weapons, modifications, or substitutions per your request. If you firearms do not have water adaptation, they're not going to flat out work. You're going to want to take something like, if you have archery, you might consider taking a harpoon or other type device. What is everyone intending to gear up with weapon-wise if you're bringing a weapon? We'll start with Arachne.
That's a good question. Are we going straight into the water or... no. So for now, I'll take my standard gear. For underwater, was that a harpoon gun that we had last time?
Yeah, you were given harpoon guns last time.
Yeah, we used that same harpoon gun. I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. A harpoon XL something something.
But you don't own one, right? You're gonna request one from them.
Yeah, so I'll request that one.
Alright. So you will have a harpoon gun ready for you whenever you get underway. You can find the stats for that in Hero Lab, or Shimmer, whichever you prefer. Whichever you rock with. Nick, kind of same question to you. What's your plan here?
Will we have an opportunity to talk to somebody about this? I guess I want to be informed a little about what type of changes would happen to different weapons if they were given underwater capability. Do they still work above water? That kind of stuff.
That's a great question. Let's look that over really quick.
Yeah, I double-checked the post to make sure you didn't give us homework for this one. So I unfortunately had to take it upon myself to look up this in advance.
Yeah, there's one oversight in all my preparations today I forgot to look at. I believe it would still fire underwater, or fire above water as well as underwater. It would just be more of if you have a weapon that can take extreme environment adaptations. If I could find those in the weapon mods. That is a thing you can put on guns, right? I felt like that was a thing that could be added to guns.
The underwater.
I believe so.
Let's see. I can't even find like the gear stuff for environmental adaptations now.
I'm pulling up your lab.
Yeah, you might pull up Hero Lab and see if you can figure out if it can be adapted or not. I was looking for all the other stuff. That is the one thing I forgot to check.
Extreme environment modification is a run-and gun.
Page 51.
Thank you.
It starts on 51.
What are you going to want to, essentially, if you can load up a gun, what are you going to want to do?
I mean, yeah, I might take my assault rifle. Otherwise, I was just not going to take a weapon.
Let's see, it requires a level 2, would be for all extreme. Alright, so if you could do it, you could modify it for a level 2, which would be all extreme conditions. It will fire in atmospheric conditions and underwater. Weapons with level 2 modification have our range levels cut in half. And they also need to be serviced every 100 rounds when fired. And that service, there's a check for it, or you can pay essentially someone to do it. So you could modify your assault rifle. It will just cut the range in half.
That's permanent.
It looks like it. Yep.
Alright, then I guess I'm not doing that.
Okay. Are you gonna request any other type of weapon for them?
No, I guess not. Do we know how like melee combat is going to be affected underwater?
Oh yeah, the rules for that are in Run and Gun. That was in your homework.
Yeah, it's heavily affected.
Yeah, your strength essentially is cut in half when determining damage.
There
Clinch,
was something like
grappling,
from
and subduing is it's the same homework you did last time with the Aquacology run. You need to read Beneath the Seas chapter. And then
156.
No,
take
we'll
a
just move
negative
on.
2 to all actions. Okay, we'll come back to you. Cam, do you want to take anything?
So, yeah, I'm not super helpful in combat without some sort of weapon. And I'm guessing they won't provide me an assault rifle, say with underwater modification.
If you request one, they can do that. Yep.
Okay, because I'd rather not apply it to my own weapon, but if they've got one, I would like to have one.
Alright, they will give you just an old 80K97 that has been underwater adapted. That's that. Johnny, what do you got? You said you were going to do a little bit of modifications to a harpoon gun, I think?
Yep, so I've got the Aquadine Shark XS harpoon gun. I have my own diving armor. And as you know, I am a fishman.
Okay.
I'm also bringing like something that I just made a note of, but I've got a waterproof backpack as well.
Okay.
So I'll be bringing like my regular guns and that, just in case we enter air at some point.
What does your underwater outfit look like? Your armor? Do you have custom colors or anything to it? Because you have a distinctive style, right?
Yeah, that's more the yeah. I suppose it would be very much the same as my cowboy colors.
Okay. Do you have
I've got my shark tooth necklace on. Technically, the way I've written my hat, I could probably have that on underwater. Probably will have that on underwater. It's got a little mechanical cinch that tightens it around my head when I go anywhere, so.
Alright. I like the idea that you got this wetsuit on that has like a cowboy motif to it, and you still got your hat on and the necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, you have your items as accordingly. That stuff would have been provided to you. You essentially would have been told to go to the dockyards in Everett. And there was a big private ship there. It is... I wouldn't want to call it a cargo ship. It looks like it's meant more for patrol in like a military style. It's probably cruise about 50 or so. It's a modern ship, and it looks like it could be easily fit into somebody's like small navy or something, but you would imagine it manages more of a private security sort of thing to it. And you will have met a man who doesn't bother to introduce himself other than just to call himself Mr. Johnson, if you were to ask. And he will show you to quarters on the ship. He will provide you with the gear that you've requested, as well as anyone who doesn't have diving armor. You get just the base style diving armor, scuba mask, and all of that. The man has a kind of a thick Turkish accent, but he otherwise speaks fluent English. Doesn't seem like he's intent on sharing a lot of details. After you get settled in, he'll give you each a data chip that you would assume has the rest of the details for your job. And you leave bright and early in the morning and just end up kind of sitting on this ship for about 2 days. Well, actually, it's going to be a little bit longer. Probably take closer to a week as you are headed toward Indonesia. So you have some downtime kind of in that, if you want to, on that trip to do anything. If you review the data chip, it's got some further details about your task. And particularly, it tells you that you're going to be taken to an island, a volcanic island around Indonesia. That there is, you get kind of a GPS map and coordinates that shows this particular mark. It goes to a cave, and you see outside pictures, entrances of the cave entrance. It is just this sort of, it's big. It's a very large slit, but it's this cave that just has an open mouth. That's kind of a slit just above the reach of the surf, and it looks otherwise like it would just be something that may interest spelunkers to go check out. It doesn't have any ornate decorations or anything of that nature around it. There is some very grainy pictures that look like they came off of maybe a crawler drone or something of that nature. And it shows this cave kind of goes into twists and turns. And there's no light. You need to take your own light source. And you just kind of see it through. It's like a little infrared camera. And then it shows eventually it opens up to this big, huge cavern that you can see light coming in through the ceiling, like very high up in the roof. There's this light trickling down through these very narrow gaps in the roof. Looks like they were kind of these man-made, like, roundish holes. And that's really about it they have for the pictures there. And other than you see in the very middle of this giant cavern is a big kind of pool of water. And the details of the job tell you that you need to find this. This is the only known entrance that is from the surface. There are supposedly multiple entrances to the cavern floor on the seabed floor that you could find underwater, but this is the only known entrance above ground. It's basically just this data chip has a data dump of like all the details to try to get into this place and what little is known about it. There is an account on there of someone who has kind of seen and described and walked through this place. So if you have any questions about that, we can go over that. Mostly describes kind of what the little drone pictures also see in it. And it does confirm that pool is what goes down into the actual layer itself. Any questions?
So we're supposed to travel above land to find this entrance, and then we dive down into this layer to do the job?
That is one possible route. The account that's actually typed out there does make mention that there should be open caverns on the seabed floor if you can find them, but this is one location that they know is an entrance to the place.
Okay, so we can either do that or try to find an entrance ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have anything to recommend for how we would find an entrance, or do we just swim around and go down every hole we see?
That's about it. Yep, it's described as kind of this honeycomb of caves and tunnels that are actually connecting several of the different islands and the ocean floor in different spots. So it's fairly easy to find the tunnels, it's harder to navigate them.
And how deep down are these tunnels?
They are about... Sorry, that's a great question. I have it here. Depending on like kind of where you find them, they're anywhere between about 18 to 20 meters underwater.
Okay. And we're doing this in diving suits, not in a submersible?
Yes, so one of the things that you will be provided if you want is they do have on this ship like a lamprey that you could use, just a little underwater sled that you could take farther down. The only caution they say there is it may draw attention. This is definitely an area that they are not really supposed to be in, or you're supposed to be in, obviously. If you were to go, near one of the actual caverns.
What do you guys think? This sounds like a pretty shitty situation.
Yeah, we only know the one entrance that we can get in, or we gotta find our own. Security for this entrance is unknown.
The little drone pictures that you saw of them flying around showed no signs of security, though this is known to be a location where the Sea Dragon trains her changelings. And so there are probably people on site, or obviously in the lair itself, but you did not see any as far as the caves or anyone around there.
And it was all underwater. There was no like pockets of air or anything under there.
There are notes in the file of there being places underneath water where there is pockets of air and spaces that are actually livable by somebody who's not underwater, but they're very, very few. And it's the account is written by somebody who's never seen a spot like that. It's just that they've been told that they are there.
Alright. So we know of one entrance. There are other entrances / emergency exits.
There might be if we can find them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there are. It's just a matter of if we can navigate the tunnel.
There's very few pockets of air. Should we meet any resistance and take any damage to our suits, we'll have to be very careful.
Any notes about what the water currents are like down there? Will it be difficult to swim?
Let's see. There are some notes that they will sometimes use water currents in tunnels actually to move faster through certain areas and gaps, but there is not, for the most part, it's calm waters unless something is dragging them up. It's usually pretty calm.
Sounds like quite the situation we've got on our hands.
So are we expecting them to fight like in the water at all times?
Does sound that way, yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a diving suit's gonna stop a bullet.
We've got diving armor, which
Yeah,
is
they're lightly
armor
padded.
rating 7, so it's slightly padded, yeah. probably not the best army I've ever worn or acting, but better than nothing. Though it does incur a -2 to your dice pool on swimming tests.
Diving armor?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
because it's armor.
You
So
can
we're at a
use
-4.
You can use
Or
a
no.
normal wetsuit if you prefer, or the diving suit does incur a penalty.
Wow.
It's got a wireless bonus of that makes it -1, but I don't understand how an underwater piece of gear wants to have
Could
a
possibly
wireless
have
bonus.
a wireless bonus, yeah. That's pretty silly.
Wireless buoys?
I think it specifies that it's for prep. Yeah, prep and maintenance.
Yeah, if you're not that strong a swimmer, a dry suit's probably the better idea, but it is unarmored.
Yeah.
And we're fighting dragons?
Changelings, at least. Changelings trained by a dragon. We have any stats on these guys?
The
Numbers, strengths,
Yeah.
size.
The people bring you, or the stats on the changelings?
Changelings, the ones we'll be fighting, potentially.
You do not have any stats. The only mention there in the account is that changelings are brought here, and if they are put through a series of tests, and if they fail them, they are eaten by the sea dragon. If they succeed, then they are put into her service and start training.
Okay, then as general six-worlders, do we know anything about changelings? Are they generally people? Are they elephants? Like,
Oh,
are they
a changeling
giants?
so a changeling is someone who's been surged after the comet came through, or by other means, and they are often given, if they're surged enough, they often end up with traits and qualities that are not typical to metahumans. So you might get gills and webbed feet. You may get multiple arms, like Shiva arms, or skunk glands, other such things if they're surged enough. So you would imagine these are probably underwater ones with some type of underwater adaptation.
I had to pay for mine.
I think they're paying plenty for theirs.
So will they be providing us with the diving helmets? 'Cause I understand that they have lights on them.
Does your diving helmet come with your diving armor? Double check.
Enclosed breathing helmet. It's actually a separate piece of item.
Yeah, you'll have essentially the enclosed breathing helmet. I think that one's the one that has speakers and actually will let you do a little bit of communication, audio communication.
Got halogen headlamp, external speakers, data port, and low light vision.
Alright, so are we completely against the idea of using a submersible because of the attention it might draw?
The lamprey is not so much a submersible as it is like just one of those little water scooter thingies.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
is
a,
that
hold
what
on
they
to.
said, a lamprey?
yeah, it's an underwater sled basically.
Oh, okay, no, I thought we'd actually get submersible for going into the sea drake's lair. The lamprey's not really gonna buy us any added protection.
Do we know how risky these changelings are? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, am I fighting a trog?
There wasn't any information about that.
Yeah, changeling is gonna need to be any type of metahuman or the such.
Metahumans with powers, even.
Assume they're very dangerous.
Do these harpoons come in explosive bits?
We never want to fire an explosive underwater.
It's more like when we're out of the water.
Then you don't want to fire a harpoon gun.
But I can't take my guns with me.
Harpoons work on in air. They're just as good as crossbows. They're heavy crossbows.
Yeah, where's Bo? He's the crossbow user.
Let's make a decision. Are we going into the tunnel provided, or are we going to try to do some scouting? Find a second way in. I vote for a second way in. I don't much feel like walking in the door that they have advertised.
It's true.
True. But how many of you here of us are actually experienced divers who know what to look for when it comes to the underwater archaeology, as they say?
I have dived before.
Because where we find an entrance and then we find those kami sharks. They were a problem last time. Oh, and those squid things. Those things hurt too.
You were there? You were there. I remember that.
You weren't there.
Yeah, those squids sucked.
Wait, I wasn't there? What do you mean?
Nick wasn't there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nick wasn't there.
What's the water temperatures in the region that we are?
Mild. They're all things considered fairly warm. Obviously, it'll get colder when you go down really deep, but
Yes.
yeah, it's mild up where you're going to be entering from.
Cam, what do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not opposed to going down and checking. I really hope they gave us things that were rated for the proper depths.
You do. You're not diving. You're not doing a deep dive. You were going shallow, all things considered, in the ocean.
Just one of those things I felt like it might be good to check.
No, that's fair.
I mean, nothing says if we fail, we don't come back up and go through the front door. Provided we don't drown.
And if we know that there is an actual facility down there, we're not actually just spelunking in underwater caves. Like, should I bring in my B&E gear?
The account only describes it as underwater caves. It actually specifically notes that they are not ruins or anything of it. There's no facility. It's underwater caves.
Okay, so we're not going to be dealing with made locks or who knows that type of stuff. Wow.
Doesn't seem like it.
Been really old school. Why can't we just fire a couple of torpedoes at this place?
We need to bring back samples if we want to get paid any actual money. And just to be on the safe side, again, no explosions underwater. You will die, and you will take all of us with you.
It's okay. I don't like explosives. Oh wait, will a brain grenade work underwater? Will it be like a squid thing?
Gas, smoke, and thermal work like squid things. I don't know what paint does underwater.
Probably will make things
Might be
cloudy
useful,
depending
like,
on the
either way.
quality.
That might be an idea. Okay, do we have proper tools for collecting blood samples?
Yeah, you'll be given essentially what looks like a little gun with a needle, like with syringes, and so if you shoot it into somebody, it will draw blood through their skin and put it into this little vial that's actually made of a nice strong plastic, and you will have it.
So I'm assuming these changelings are going to have the same problem that we're having. They're not going to be able to bring in heavy gear, armor, and stuff like that. So have we saw them maybe using chemical means to take them out? Maybe some narco jets or poison arrows, that kind of stuff.
Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, if you've got access to a weapon that can use arrows.
While we're contemplating that, real quick, the victims of this blood-taking device can be dead at the time, right? As long as we get to them quick.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
you're under no obligation to keep them alive.
It wasn't gonna spoil or something immediately.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how blood works.
Well, I don't know. They're changelings.
That's fair. They are changelings.
They'll issue us with a few syringes then, the auto syringes to extract the blood that they need.
What did you ask? Do they have syringes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll hook us up with the syringes that we need to get them their blood.
No, like I said, you're each. If you want multiple of them, you can each have a little gun that looks like has little needles at the end, and if you inject it to somebody, it will draw their blood out, and then you can just pull it off, and it will put it all into this little. It's got actually like 6 little vials in it, so it's almost like this little revolver syringe gun.
Cam definitely takes one.
Right, Cam takes one.
Yeah, if they're not bulky, we may as well all have one.
Seems like a good call.
They're not super bulky, no.
Okay. On that note, did they have an additional AK, or was there just the one?
Yeah, if you wanted one, you could have got one.
Okay. It seems silly not to bring one, even though I feel like grappling will be a viable combat down there.
Double check something else.
So with the harpoon, could they provide an auto assault 16 or a shotgun with a drum magazine that was built for underwater combat?
You did not ask for that, so I'm gonna assume no, they did not. Like, what are you looking for? A harpoon, or are you looking for a shotgun?
Well, I'm
What did you
really
just ask
thinking.
for?
Yeah, the harpoon was just asked for. But I was wondering if it's possible. Could we get something with a drum magazine? Because I'm thinking of using the if we want to do that chemical thing. That's one way we could do it with. What's that thing called? DMSO rounds.
Do you have DMSO rounds?
I've got some capsule rounds, but we'd have to acquire the DMSO for it.
Yeah, we're already on the ship because we got the data dump.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Then
what are you going to
never
do
mind.
with DMSO anyway? Because you're not going to be able to really probably do contact in salt water.
Yeah, that's weird. How water combat
I
works.
mean, you could.
Yeah, no, stay with
It would
harpoons. Just
probably
keep it
hit
nice and
them,
easy.
but you may end up having as many problems with your own team as stuff for it being diluted too much. It'd be a little bit of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the stick with the harpoons. Probably won't take any chances of tear gassing my own team
Alright.
too and stuff like that.
Let's see.
I think it's a really good idea, but yeah, we're not equipped to deal with that.
Yeah, chemical weapons you might be able to find the option for. I don't know that, like, say, DMSO is going to work the way you're thinking. Double check. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. This should be interesting.
Alright. 1 second here. Anything else I missed about ranged weapons?
Do we need to train in diving, or are we not going far enough down that we're going to be making diving checks?
You've got some time. You've got a couple days on the ship. If you do want to train in diving, you can.
I was asking more out of character. If we'll be are we going to the depths that's necessary? Does the people that are taking those know? Do we know?
Let me double check. You're definitely going. You're definitely diving. Let me double check the diving rules here. I think technically, yeah, diving is going to come to effect essentially anytime you're underwater, not swimming for the most part.
Oh, okay. I thought it wasn't until like 50 meters. I must have been reading that wrong.
It's taking us maybe
correct
like
me if I'm
4
wrong.
days to
Where is
get
it?
there.
Where'd you read it at?
158, very top.
Let me double check.
It seems to be in the middle of a section though, so I'm trying to get back to the top of the section.
So that's deep diving. Represents all dives below 50 meters.
Yeah.
Shallow diving is less than 10 meters. We were going, what you said, 20 meters down?
You're going closer to 20, yeah. It's a little short of 20.
So that would be scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
The diver needs to reference their dive computer or a dive table to see how long they need to stay at certain decompression depths.
As you come up, yeah.
That's part of your resurfacing.
And there are little charts, and I really hope we aren't going down to 300 meters.
No, you're not. You're not intended to go down to 300 meters, but I guess if you're feeling rambunctious, you might give it a try.
World.
Yeah, you can
do whatever we want.
Could do what you want.
There's no invisible walls in this realm.
Well,
Take
yeah.
a quick jaunt by the Mariana Trench on the way over.
There is
Cam
an
very much hopes
aquacology
they
in
don't.
it.
Alright, so that's resurfacing. Where is just diving?
I believe diving is anytime you're swimming underwater, technically is diving.
Apparently. 10 meters and can include scuba.
But yeah, if we've got 4 days on the boat, I will train an extra skill of diving, which I will in universe. I'll use the next couple of days to actually finish up training.
The importance of having a dive buddy is taught to every person who ever learns the scuba dive. In any case where there are 2 or more characters diving together, the best intuition plus diving test result is used as long as they all agree to stay together. If the divers are able to communicate verbally, this method allows a teamwork test as well.
Yep. You can.
So only one of us needs the diving skill.
Oh yeah. So okay. That's only when you're resurfacing stuff. Though to swim underwater is actually the diving skill, not swimming.
Okay. I guess I just keep rereading the same section. Where's the part about like going down?
Well, you can read in core.
Oh,
That's where
back
diving it says it's swimming or diving is used, not swimming for diving or swimming underwater. It's in the description for diving.
So characters need to make a intuition plus diving test at the depth divided by 10, rounded up.
I think that's for resurfacing. Is what I keep rereading.
Yep, that's for resurfacing. Going down's the easy part.
So, yeah, if we've got a few days, Cam's going to take another rank in diving.
Alright, learn a little diving.
Yeah, so...
I think Arachne's got a few points in diving.
Yeah, I've got 2.
Alright.
Is there an instructor on board that could allow me to get 2 ranks in the 2 days?
There is. Let me do a roll for him. You meet a grizzled-looking human. He's got a pretty nasty scar across one of his arms. He's got a short sleeve shirt. Yeah, looks distinctly out of place. You'll notice that there are a number of the people on this ship that look to be sailors, and then another number of people who, sailor might be the wrong word. They all look like men who stay in fit condition and are at least in some measure of fighting degree. Many of them have very short-cut hair. Most of them, though, are scruffy. They don't exactly look military. Does anyone... I think you have... Oh, yeah, Nick. You're a mercenary and have mercenary knowledge. I'll just let you buy the hits with your 8 dice or whatever you got. You recognize these as definitely like a mercenary group. And they have this almost military style ship that's been refitted. It looks like it's kind of secondhand. And all the guys on board have it's less of like, some of them have of equipment that all looks like it sort of matches, but more than not, it seems to be whatever their preference is, which is pretty common in a merc group. And you, Nick, with your experience with mercenaries, would recognize these are probably members of the 10,000 Daggers, which is a mercenary group out of Turkey.
Oh, I remember they chased me.
Okay, yeah, they did chase you. They're
Chased me
not.
through Istanbul's market.
They're not currently wearing any like they don't have any logo gear or anything like that they're wearing, but you just kind of recognize them for who they are after you've spent a couple days on this ship.
Okay.
And one of them, yes, is a diving instructor.
How'd you get that? I'll gesture to his arm.
They Mero off the coast of South Africa.
I know what that means.
If you know some geography, you probably know where South Africa is. And then Mero are a type of paracritter. They are more or less ugly mermaids, if you would. Probably what a real mermaid would look like almost. They have scales and a tail and often have weapons and culture.
I'll raise an eyebrow and say, how bad do you have to mess up a dive to find one of those?
To mess up a dive, I was taking a swim vacation, you know?
Right. Wow.
Nasty buggers.
I believe it. And, mind teaching me how to dive?
Yep. He'll start giving you an instruction course and all the tips. You can sit with him for like the next few days, and he takes out all your gear and shows you how all of it works. Describes to you the techniques of swimming underwater and how the importance of resurfacing correctly.
You know any way of getting cyber to work down there?
He'll show a sight on like your armored suit, and he'll say you can direct connect your data jack to the suit, and then you take this cable and plug it into your armor or your weapons, whatever other gear you have.
But that wouldn't work with wireless, right?
It's not gonna work with wireless. It's gonna be direct connected.
No. Thank you.
Which, as we mentioned, the armored suit, it does in fact, I think, penalize swimming, but I don't know that it penalizes diving.
That is a very good point.
Were there any other mods on this this AK, or is it just a stock AK with the modification?
Stock AK with the underwater modification.
And at what rating?
2. It's level 2.
Are slings interchangeable between rifles? Any chance of that?
We'll say yes on this case, or they can probably provide you with a sling. That's what you're looking for.
All right, cool.
Oh.
That was really it. I'd like to have my hands free if I need them.
Alright. Yep, you can do that. And anyone else who wanted to learn some diving points, you got that. And else.
What type of ammunition do we have?
You can give you a variety of regular rounds. They can give you gel rounds if you want them. What are you kind of looking for?
That sounds good. A couple of clips of gel and a couple clips of regular.
Alright, they'll give you that.
Cam wants in on the gel rounds, actually. So it seems like this might be helpful.
They also do have hollow points, but he can't. Let me double check. I don't know. They may not be useful for you underground or underwater.
Why wouldn't they?
Probably not. They
In
are plus
theory,
one.
most bullets won't be,
Yeah, no. They
unless
are
the bullets have underwater modifications of some type.
They do have a +1 damage rating, so +2 to essentially armor.
So Hollow Point would actually be pretty decent because we're, Cam, in case you're unaware as well, we're gonna be suffering a -1 damage for every meter the bullet travels.
Yeah, I read that.
Which means
So-
our ranged weapons have basically become melee weapons at best.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah,
could do
for-
more damage if you swam up and hit him with it.
Well, no, because our strength is reduced by half for that.
If they've got some hollow points and absolutely not going to work, Cam will take a couple clips too.
I believe you clip my hollow points.
Okay, cool.
38.
Yep.
Clip. And then I'll take, what's 38 times 2?
6.
Yeah, take 2 clips of gel. That'll be it for me.
Give you like a underwater ammo belt that you can put all your clips into. Around your diving suit.
Bandolier.
I don't know if a diving suit has gear access on it. We'll give you a belt of some sort. Like I think of those old style divers used to have a little belt that's strapped on, had little tins on it. Yeah. Alright.
Does it have a
Underwater
knife on
backpack
it?
with me.
It can have a knife on it if you want it, yeah. It could be, yeah, no, that
Diver's
makes sense.
knife.
A lot of divers have knives, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You have a survival knife with it, or you can switch it out for one of your combat knives if you like.
I've seen Cam cut through an entire jungle with a knife.
Oh god, don't bring that
Great
up.
hands, boys.
Yeah.
Alright,
Cam
guys.
is-
Oh, sorry.
No,
Let's
go
go
ahead.
now.
No.
Alright. We've got our gear.
Oh, I actually
opting-
believe this is my first time running with
Yep.
Oh,
it is.
sorry, introductions. Cam, would you like to meet Johnny D and vice versa? You guys want to do that intro?
Sure. Cam is a short but stout orc woman. At this point, I think she actually has a full head of hair. She hasn't been exposed to sewage recently or anything else that would cause her to freak out. So she's got, ish hair pulled back. Other than that, she's incredibly generic. She was probably wearing jacket and sort of military fatigue style pants and sunglasses when you met her.
Give us your intro, Johnny.
Sorry, I've got some lag going on here for whatever reason. I heard basically only about half of that.
Okay. Cam is short but broad orc woman. Leather jacket, military style pants. And trodes. That's probably important too. That's good info to have.
Okay. Yeah, no. You look like the standard style orc that Johnny tends to work with on almost every occasion. I lived in the Orc Underground for a little while. Had to hide my ear tips, but apart from that, got along all right with everybody.
So, what does Johnny look like?
He's a average height human with his trademark cowboy hat on. He's got about shoulder length blonde hair. He's wearing it pulled back at the moment. Long hair's quite the problem underwater if you're not keeping it under wraps. And he's got a big scar down the side of his face. It looks like it was made by... It's like very jagged. It looks like it made by a bunch of teeth. Almost very similar in shape to the teeth that he wears on his necklace. Little diamond pattern teeth. If you've got any zoology skills, you might recognize that they're shark teeth. If you know anything about sharks, you might recognize that they're shark teeth.
I do not. Clearly, it's something mean.
But yeah, the scar disappears down underneath the scarf that he wears. And apart from that, yeah, he looks like your generic human. He's got his nice... Everything is color-coded brown, though. All his gear. He has a thick Australian accent.
Cam basically just gives him a nod when they meet and says, "Nice to meet you."
Alright, mate. Let's get some diving practice in, eh?
Alright, you can do your diving montage as well, teaching Cam what you know, and you guys can all learn from the same instructor while you see Nick over there getting the ins and outs.
Fantastic.
Alright. At some point the... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Okay. After a week or so almost on this damn boat, by the time you're probably tired and ready to get off of it, it starts pulling into an area in the Pacific Ocean around Indonesia. The first guy who spoke to you, the handler, will tell you that you are coming up, they're coming up on the island. What was your decision? How you want to go in?
So what sort of time frame do we have here? Do we actually have time to search for an alternative entry, and if we don't find it, then use the one provided?
So out of character, your air tanks, I think you have 2 hours of air on them.
Yep.
So you have that much time basically. But the captain or the handler, the guy who's been talking to you, the kind of lieutenant or something of the nature, will tell you that you've got as much air in your air tanks, and we need to be out of here as quickly as possible. We're going to be arriving under the cover of darkness. You can slip into the water. We'll stay right here until you get back, or until 2 hours pass,
so
whichever comes first.
Okay, so we don't have time to go down there, locate a new entrance, come back up for restocking on air, and then go back in.
I would tell you you'd prefer you didn't, but if you need to, we could try to tweak that out. These are dangerous waters in general. We don't want to be found any more than you do.
Right.
Sounds like we just need to go on the front door then.
Yeah, unless we got
I
some
just
way.
want to gamble the whole job on whether or not we can find an entrance and complete the job within the 2 hours.
I mean, the fact that they're only waiting 2 hours is a problem. On my end, the air is not so much.
That's fair.
The guy will
But,
laugh at that. See, we have a 5-hour window. After that, we're guaranteed to leave. If you're not here back in 2, we're gonna consider the worst happen though. He'll tap one of the air tanks.
How long does it take to refill an air tank?
Oh, not long. He said we got spares here. We'll switch you out.
Oh, for a little bit, I guess.
Let's go spend 2 hours trying to find a back door to a sea dragon training grounds.
Never know. Might get lucky.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Okay.
what's this guy's name that's talking to us?
Me see my notes. His name is Ahmed.
Okay. I don't have anything to say to him. I just wanted to know the name of the last person that I see before going underwater.
So a thing that I don't was made explicit.
Mhm.
We are primarily looking for an earring, right? Not the blood collection. The blood collection's in addition. The primary.
Yeah, our main objective is an artifact. I don't know that it was an earring. Oh, it is.
That is a very specific earring, right? Not like all the changelings wear a token earring.
Oh, so okay, yep. So that would have been in the data dump that you got, the account that
Yeah.
she gave you. Not all of the ones who are in training, but the ones who have finished training are all given a very specific earring.
Okay, cool. It's not it's not just one needle in a haystack, it's several.
Yeah, no, it looks like an iridescent teardrop pearl. It has this sort of
Okay.
delicate carving of like bone.
Or it'll be on the one that we killed after it probably nearly killed one of us.
Sure.
Wait, what?
Just saying it'll be on the ear of a more difficult opponent.
Yeah. We're not likely to find it on the wimps.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. It's very, very metagamey of you, I think. It's fantastic. No, alright. So you guys
Well, you
are...
just told us it was on the ones that finished training. People that finished training are more skilled than people who have not finished training.
That's fair, but you don't know what they're training for.
We're training to cook.
Alright, they could be fine artisans that she uses to build her other layers. You don't know.
I don't know. That was just my in-character observation. I guess.
So do you guys want to take the lamprey to slide in, or are you just gonna swim? Just jump in and swim down?
I mean, yeah, I guess we're gonna just jump in. If we
Alright.
want to be do our best to avoid
Can everybody
drawing
stealth?
attention. Yeah.
Let's
So
see if
I'll
we
throw a
have
couple of
chances to get
things into my waterproof bag. I'll bring with me.
Cam, are you alright at stealthing?
I am not great at stealthing, but I still think it's probably better to try.
Okay.
Let's check everybody's strength just real quick. Body. Alright, we're good there.
Alright, so no, we're gonna leave the lamprey and opt to try to go unnoticed for as long as we can.
Alright.
Didn't sound like it was super deep, so I don't know how useful it would be. Maybe a broader search.
Yeah, I imagine we'd be able to cover more ground because we're only gonna be able to swim a fraction of our land speeds.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you guys dive off in the water at night. It's only really dark upstairs. It's always dark underneath the water to a certain point, right? So begin swimming down. I think your helmets have little lights on them if you want to use it. Otherwise, you can just start heading down. You would want to use it, yes. Obviously, you want to be able to see as you get lower on the assertion part.
Gotta be able to find the entrance.
Yeah. The water is warm enough. Did you guys want to look around the island where the main entrance is, or do you want to look a little farther out?
Is there anything we can do mechanically to, like, answer these questions that our characters might have an idea or be able to solve, or are we just flipping coins?
I think you're mostly flipping coins on this one. Let's see. What else we got? Let me look at your skills and whatnot.
Farther
I
out.
don't have the knowledge skills that will accompany with my actual diving skills.
Yep, I'd say farther out. Not right up on the entrance.
Okay, it's just whether or not you're going to essentially enter potentially underneath that island, or if you want to just enter into the caves, wherever you find one. So, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I get your question. I was just curious if there was anything, to help aid in that decision. But if not, I think just go farther out, see what happens.
Alright. Let's see. Let's do a teamwork test on perception. So essentially a perception search, if you will.
Maybe we discuss who's the leader.
Yeah,
Do we
go for
just-
it.
Does anybody have more than 4 ranks?
Sorry.
The perception skill?
Right. Sorry, I was writing my list of stuff I'm bringing with me here.
No, I do not.
I have 4 ranks.
4 it is then. Let's see. So yeah, you guys can do a teamwork test on a perception check. Search specialization if you got it.
Alright. Well, Sister Acne.
Okay.
Sweet.
Alright, Arachne, you can take up to your 4 ranks. You can do a +3 as yours. Well, let me see. Hold on. Ignore that because it's going to be cancel out your negatives. So go ahead and roll your perception with the +4
normal.
for the teamwork test. Yeah.
Okay. And can I have any bonuses from visual to this or no?
No. Your visuals are going to
Okay.
easily be offset by the negatives. You are swimming underwater. It's
Okay,
clear,
so
which
4,
is nice.
4.
But-
You said I can add 4 dice to this, oh?
Yep, it's part of a teamwork test.
Not shabby.
We got 3. Alright. Alright. So it takes you some time as you swim down to the floor and then begin looking around for anything large and cavernous that might be an entrance to this place. And you do find a big cave entrance burrowed underneath the seabed floor that just keeps going down. You've probably, at this point, swam a little over 20 meters. You'll be going down a little bit farther than that if you continue going down, but you do find a cave entrance in the seabed floor right next to a crab fighting a lobster.
Ooh, damn it, I should have brought a bait for the lobster. And the crab. They were delicious last time.
You all have your beautiful goggles on. You got that narrowed vision. You're just seeing straight what's in front of you with no peripherals. And but you do find this big. It's not big. It's a small cave entrance. It's only probably about 2 meters across. It's more than enough for you guys to swim in, kind of single file, and head straight into it, though, if you'd like.
And how much time has passed? Missed that part.
Probably 10 minutes or so.
Alright.
I think we'll go in, yeah.
Single file, so marching order.
Do you want to at least try to be stealthy if it's possible?
Yeah, we're trying to make as little noise as possible. I mean, we're underwater though, so things that are tracking us, I think, do it by other means.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do sneaking plus your body to represent you sneaking underwater.
So, front or back, 9 to 5?
I'm gonna take the front.
If anybody objects, I'm coming up at the rear.
Okay, I've got Nick's back covered.
Alright.
I will cover Arachne.
And just to be clear, did you even bother to take the mask and stuff, Johnny, or are you relying solely on your gills?
I'm taking the mask for the light.
Okay. Alright, we got our marching order.
It's a really D&D move there, Nick.
I missed what you said, Johnny.
It's very deep.
The marching order, a very
Marching
D&D move.
Here's
Shameless plug for the D&D match tomorrow.
Alright.
single
Fantastic.
file.
Is anybody else trying to sneak, or is it just Nick up front?
Oh.
Sorry.
It's up to you guys.
With body instead of agility, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right, you go single file to hide your numbers. They'll never know how many of you are here. Alright. Alright, you begin underwater sea spelunking, if you will. There is this very kind of narrow cave. It's more than enough for one of you to swim through and not feel too crowded. You'd be pretty tough pressed if two of you got next to each other. There is no light in here at all. It's completely dark. There is sea flora, if you will, like rubbing us against you, touching you as you swim by. You go into this cave. It's completely dark, and Nick's up front. You come up to a section of the cave, and it splits off in multiple directions, one going down and one going straight. And you pick one is as good as the other. You pick a direction and start swimming down that, and it kind of honeycombs back up again, and then goes straight, and then splits off to like the left. You continue following that, and you realize you're kind of just wandering through these tunnels that at least once they double back on themselves, and so you pick a different direction and continue going. So we're gonna do for this, we're gonna do a perception test or a navigation. I'll let your team decide which you prefer.
Does anybody know navigation?
So I know navigation plus +1 from my Magnasense,
Ooh.
which lets me know where north is.
Cam's got some
And
navigation.
I will ask the team if they want me to like leave a light stick or something at this intersection. So if we need to find our way out, it'll be a little bit easier. But I also don't want to give away our location. So
And have we seen any signs of living creatures beyond the flora? And a crab fighting something?
Just occasionally a fish or something. You've not seen any signs of humanity, if you will.
So I'm throwing about 7 dice at navigation.
Navigation.
Teamwork the nav.
You can teamwork the navigation, or you can teamwork perception. Your guys' preference.
What type of perception is it again?
Let's see. I would do just probably a general perception for this. It's more of a search. You're trying to find your way in the darkness.
So
that
realistically,
might be better.
we're gonna get more dice for perception, but it's not to say that navigation wouldn't necessarily be an easier threshold.
Right.
I mean, I can throw navigation and you guys can teamwork perception.
No, it's one or the other.
Damn.
Why don't you guys try navigation?
Try navigation.
Yeah, I've only got the 1 point with it, but at least it won't suffer terrible
Well,
negatives.
Cam was gonna either do it or help. How
Yeah,
many
I've
points
got-
of navigation do you have?
At 3.
And once you help her, Jenny.
Okay,
There you
I
go.
will help you. I will lick my finger, kind of feel for the wind.
Non-existent, mostly. It's mostly
Yeah,
not there.
there is no wind here. There is a subtle current going. Essentially, you're swimming against it. It's not a difficult current, but the water does flow that way.
You gotta lick your finger and your lungs fill with water.
Oh no!
Haha.
Oh,
Joke's on you.
tragic!
Alright, take your 3 extra dice, Cam. What is your extra
No, sorry,
sense?
two dice.
What is... Oh, you were sneaking underwater. Sorry,
That was
alright.
my sneaking.
And that included your way of finding north?
Yes.
Alright. Go ahead, Cam.
Nice job.
3 hits. Go ahead and roll it again at a -1, so do 8 dice. This is an extended test, 10-minute intervals.
Adam, girl. What's the limit on navigation?
I think it's mental.
I believe it is.
Can you smart orc?
5. My limit is 5.
Smart orc.
Yeah, keep going.
That's a rather well. Yeah.
Another one?
Yep. Actually, should have told you. I do have a macro for navigation. I should have had to use it. I mean, we got so far 6. We got
10.
10. Alright, give me another one.
And we die.
Haven't died yet. It's not even been an hour.
That's what I was saying. We don't know the threshold or the intervals really, so it's just like, oh no, you guys spent 2 hours
I did.
searching.
I told you 10 minutes.
Oh, that was 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been down here so far for 10 minutes.
All right, you find it after the last one, so it's taken you about an hour. You begin entering these sort of chambers where they change what they look like quite a bit. And this is after you've kind of searched, you've gone through many different directions, you've used your Johnny's sense of navigation and finally found your way, feeling like you're making progress. The scene changes a little bit. The rocks smooth in some places, they broaden out in others, and you find this kind of hole that enters from into this cavern that actually has these stone kind of or they actually have this how do I describe it? The hole that has been made in this area that you found, it looks like it was built there by someone or shaped by something, and it's actually a very large hole, and it's very distinctively different than the rest of the cave that you've been swimming through. One moment, please. Make sure I set you guys up with...
You've been breathing our air this whole time, Johnny?
What'd you say about Johnny?
Yes, if he'd like us to stop, or if we'd like him to stop breathing air.
Uh-huh.
That not going to be lethal to you, Johnny?
I mean, it's not like I'm just gonna hold my breath.
I don't know if it's apparent or not that you have other means of survival.
I mean, you haven't seen him, as I normally wear a scarf.
Right.
It's fair. You normally
It's
have
true.
it cleaned up.
I don't... It dawns on Cam that you could have gills. Seems very specialized.
It's made just for this moment.
Yes.
Alright, there we go.
I mean, it's a good conversational piece as well.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's not all about usefulness.
Stop breathing air in case we need some extra. It's fantastic. Alright. This is where you find yourself.
How did we get in here? Just
You
so I know.
got in
This
here
hole.
through essentially this hole here down the bottom.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Are you possibly able to bring my notes from that other page over?
I will happily bring your notes from the other page over.
But there's nowhere that we'll see them on here, I don't think.
I will.
All right.
I will make you a handout.
Thank you.
Alright.
I
Same
mean, I
marching
know
order,
it's not
'cause this looks pretty narrow.
probably a good idea.
And we can communicate in character, right? We have the head thingies.
Yep, you have to do
We
it
have
vocally,
external
but
mic.
yeah, you have external mics.
Okay. Yeah, just keep in mind that whoever's in front of you can't see you. So if something's happening to you, you know, get our attention.
And we're currently still submerged in the water, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're completely underwater. Your little depth thing is telling you you're nearly 30 meters underwater.
We have an hour left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1 hour left. It took us an hour to get here, but is it safe to assume that we were going slow, or would it probably take? Yeah, no, it can't take. Well, I guess it
Yes.
Good.
So it would. Your loss of time had more to do with you doubling around and going through this honeycomb of caverns versus, maybe it would probably been faster if you knew exactly where you were going.
could. Okay, and Cam kind of has that knowledge now, where we do from having gotten here, or okay.
Does anybody have photographic memory?
Loxley does. That's the only character I know.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, you have a general idea now of where you came in at.
Start carrying a camera and taking pictures of everything. That way, when somebody says, "Do you have photographic memory?" I have photographs.
Well, Johnny's good at navigation. You should trust him to help you find your way back.
All right, Arachne, keep Johnny alive.
I give you a thumbs up.
I can't see. I'm facing the floor.
What did we just talk about, Arachne?
Hey.
All right.
It's just completely lost.
Are we? And we're trying our best to be stealthy as well with either those previous rolls or whatever. I'll communicate that there's nothing to the right that I can see, and looks like a long hallway with maybe two entrances. Sort of turn in motion for everybody to at least get into this main tunnel.
I cannot see a thing.
We're down here.
Oh, I'm facing the wrong way.
Rotate your
I
toes
see.
like that.
See. That makes a little more sense.
You can't see what's behind you. It's the hazard of
Yes.
being in a thing with a tiny mask. Alright.
You guys want to get up into this tunnel before we go? We don't want to be too far apart.
Yep,
need
after
some-
you, Johnny.
Do we need some intense music?
Okay, I assume you're after me. Can't see you.
Cam reaches up and taps you every now and then.
Yeah. Just keep that hand on my shoulder, Cab. We'll make it through this.
You literally can't. You gotta squeeze through this tiny hole.
Squeezing through tiny holes is not a problem for Johnny.
Hey, he's got that really weird thing. Peeking into this room down there. What's this purple pile of snakes?
It looks like some type of floral fauna, or it could be snakes. Could be snakes.
I start swimming the opposite direction.
Well, I don't know that you can.
No, I'm not insubstantial. You can't just swim right through me.
Alright, just fauna. Just fauna. Just fauna. It's just flora. Very good.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Last time.
Sure.
Oh no, God, that wasn't my character. Never mind.
Aww.
Last time in another life.
All right.
You just need
Set
to
up
do the
this one.
thing. You know, Hoxton told me this story one time while we were eating a beer.
Hoxton was a consummate professional.
Oh, that's
No
right.
Shadowruns told.
No
Only the
metagaming
ones that
knowledge
Nick
for you.
went on. Yeah. So just applying common tactics there.
Alright.
I see some dense plant life.
You do. To your left, you see sort of this luscious, thick, very thick growing kelp that is. You can't see through it. It's so full of life. Looks like you could, you know, if you maneuvered through it or pushed it away, you could try to get through, but you can't just see through it. It's flowing gently in the water, waving back and forth.
I relay that without all the fluff. Just real dense plants. Can't see through them. I'm gonna try to cross them. Arachne, don't let me get eaten by plants.
I thumbs up again.
I just turned around, so I don't see it.
Cam, you still there?
Yep. Tap, tap.
So we're just swimming past these things?
For now, we gotta get our borders. As long as nobody screams out that they got eaten by plants. Peek down this hall. Alright, so there's another door. This one's on the right hand side, probably leads to that large chamber. But I see a door on the left as well, past it. Let's check it out. Okay, big pile of snakes.
Wait, what?
I mean plants.
Snake-like plants. Or plant-like snakes.
Plant like snakes, yeah. Alright,
Tap,
let's check
tap.
out this room up here.
Watching Arachne spin around in horror.
Johnny and Cam, you guys watch that chamber? Arachne and I are just gonna peek our
Yeah.
heads in here, yeah?
Cool.
We'll take our position on this edge of it.
Oh God.
You didn't see that on our first pass?
It's a very large lobster down there clipping at you and looking in your direction.
Oh, I missed the dolphins.
I regret not having my critter pheromones.
Would they have been tailored to sea life?
And nobody else likes them. It's just crabs and lobsters.
It's crustaceans. Alright, you find
It's crustacean.
you find crustacean pheromones. You're gonna find an Abram lobster who likes you way too much. So inside this chamber, you notice there are little trinkets of piles of things. Some of them look like small stones piled up in a very methodic kind of way. And then you notice these two big, giant sea leaves of some sort, of some type of plant. And they're big and wide, and they're actually strung up and tied around these small sections in the wall cave. It actually has like one of those like round like kind of hooks to it, and looks like somebody like almost slung them up like hammocks.
And there's two of them? Is that what these represent?
Yeah, there's two of them. There's
For
others.
signs of life.
Yeah, there's other small debris, such as like you find actually like an old arrowhead just made of stone that's laying on the ground.
Yeah, got our first signs of life up here. Two beds.
I mean, there is a
Water
lobster back
beds.
here.
Yeah, they're water beds. Arachne, everything in the water is water, whatever it is. See this arrowhead? It's a water arrowhead.
See, now you're getting the idea.
I'll like turn Arachne around and start pushing her out the door. We're all clear. Do we want to head
Nothing
through?
that way?
Yeah, it looks like living quarters for at least 2 creatures. Civilized, or at least curious. The arrowheads and whatnot look like trinkets more than functional tools. So we double back to that kelp.
All
Is
right.
that a
Do you want
crab
us
looking
to...
at me?
There's a lobster in there. He looked pretty friendly.
All right.
Nick is looking at it funny. I say we skewer
no,
it.
don't make eye contact. Walk by.
We're in a bad part of town. Don't make eye contact.
I lock my doors.
Oh no, look, it's probably a commie lobster.
Do you want us to go past the kelp so that you guys can retake the order?
I think this is Cam's domain here, so we'll just turn the truck around and Cam can cut through the kelp.
All right.
All right, knife away.
Yeah.
This is what you were trained for.
Trained for this. I
cover
don't know
you.
why I did so well the last time.
I'll cover you with my harpoon gun.
I'll watch our backs at the corner. Make sure that lobster isn't following us.
He looks
Swear
kind
to
of
God, I'm gonna
shady.
see him peek his head out. Just gonna commit seppuku.
I mean, he could have been like shapeshifted into a lobster. Maybe we
Okay.
should just kill him to be sure.
Changelings aren't shapeshifters. I know that sounds very similar.
So
It
did I
could
just
be.
see that thing move?
You did see something kind of moving through the kelp as you entered it.
Oh shit! It's turned its light on.
We got movement.
Alright. What is it? Figure out what
Is
it
it
is.
the lobster?
No.
Because it might have ate its cousin.
I
Oh,
assume
yeah.
I can tell it's lit up too. So yeah.
I only have parazoology, not regular zoology.
It's interesting how
shit.
much that backfires.
Its light just went out.
Okay. We should probably.
Maybe we should turn ours off too.
Some snake-looking thing.
Wait, where?
I mean, it's not.
Sorry, the next person that says the S word, I'm going to shoot you.
Okay. So at this point, I don't know that I want to have my knife out underwater. Cam pulls her AK up and sort of. Are we going to engage? I mean, we kind of have to at some point.
You
Is
see
this
a
wide
creature?
enough for 2 across?
It,
This
it might be a
bathroom?
mermaid though.
Do what you gotta do. Don't get eaten.
That is the goal.
Creep forward.
You with me, Johnny?
Use the kelp to our advantage. Make a ghillie suit out of the kelp. We're nothing more than
Oh God! I
wandering
don't
from
know
the
what that
fire.
is. Scary looking. An eel, maybe?
I don't
Would I know
know
what that is?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if. Yeah. I mean, we live in Seattle. There have to be some. Well, no, maybe there don't.
It looks something
It's a-
eel-like. It's long. It has no legs, if you will.
Shoot it till it's dead.
Just to be clear, most of us live on landlocked states and we know what eels are.
That's true.
But I'm not even sure if eels still exist at this point.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
that's
future,
a
like.
that's a possibility.
Oh no, it's seen us.
That's okay. It's all right.
How far is it?
Push forward. Get out of this kelp.
You can use the
don't know
measure
what's up
tool
the other way.
first.
See the what tool?
The measurement tool.
yeah.
Or
I
what?
forget that's a thing. Sorry.
Oh, there's a crab in here.
It's all right.
So,
This is where they
They're
live.
spying on us.
so it's not attacking, and I don't think this is a changeling. I think they're generally humanoid, right? Like,
oh, jeez, that's big.
yeah.
That is really big. Holy shit. Let's not go that way. Hi.
I'm also assuming that when it glows, that's not just its inner beauty shining through.
That's probably a defensive thing, and so that's why we're going this way.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. You guys watch back, and I'm gonna swim backward. Guys, it's following.
It's coming to kiss you.
Following.
I blink my headlamp at it. How's it react?
It is flashing every so often, very slowly. You see it lights up and then it goes away. It has almost this bluish color to it.
Yeah, I try to mimic the light.
Good. Default intuition. Let's see if you can speak eel.
Oh shit, guys! I'm about to be an eel whisperer.
You're about to be making a mating call.
Yep.
I'm gonna swim right up and give you a hug.
Critical.
Okay.
So it makes this awful like just and just flies towards Nick.
Oh God!
Tries to bite you.
I don't think I've actually got a hit yet in this game.
Shit.
Neither
Neither
did
did
it.
Into the deal.
I was gonna assume I wasn't gonna get a defense test.
Oh, you saw it.
Did it?
You weren't surprised. Well, I guess you can roll and see if you're surprised. But either way, it slides past you and fails to bite you. Has this you feel this kind of moment of electrical charge as it flies by and just swims past you, having missed its attack.
That's good. You run away.
I'm
it's
running
coming back.
something away. Yeah. Nick will say, "It's on us," and I'm gonna raise my gun and try to shoot it. If I may.
Oh yeah, no, go for it. Attempt to shoot.
I believe all actions take a -2 underwater, or all attack
All
actions.
attack actions take a -2 underwater. Yes.
I should have got my
Oh,
seal skin.
All right.
I was just doing a single shot. Trying to conserve some of these.
Would that even
bullets.
apply for weapons that are meant for underwater combat? I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
the
-2.
modification just simply
Yeah.
allows you to pull the trigger.
Yeah, the
So,
negative.
I meant
The -2
Well,
is
yeah,
you not being. Arguably, Johnny may not take the -2. The -2 is normally the awkwardness of you trying to move in water, and this you trying to. You're not made for water, and the struggle against the current, things like that.
right. I don't have my seal skin yet, so I don't have the removes the water penalties.
All right. Well, when you have seal skin, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yep. So let's postpone this run for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll wait
Go
here.
back up to the surface. Yeah, just wait here for me. I'll be right back.
Alright. You manage to hit this thing, and...
Oh, I don't know my distance. I guess I'm about 3 meters away, so that would actually reduce that to 12p.
Okay, well, 12p, and he got 2 hits. Then he's still up. And, it takes the hint, though. Exceptionally hurt, and it is going to actually slither down this hole and disappear into it.
I mean, that seems to be the only way out of this room.
Yep. Purple plant room, though. Also, is this a crab?
That is a crab.
Cam's like got her gun trained on this thing. It's just a crab. Identify yourself.
Crab!
Nick, it's rubbing his claws together. I think it's the mastermind.
No, it's because you're rubbing your hands together, Arachne. It's just mocking you.
It might actually be a camera disguised as a crab.
It's going for cover. Look, see?
It's because you're staring at it. Quit staring. That's impolite.
Take it out, Arachne. I don't trust it.
Johnny, we need one of those glow sticks.
Alright. Gonna drop a glow stick down this tunnel. Is that what we want me to do?
Unless the airflow's coming up, I guess. I don't know how gravity works underwater.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
it works
Yeah,
the same
well-
as gravity.
Yeah, but the ground is above us. It's confusing.
It could be a hint, I guess.
Nope, it does go down. You can you can try to drop the glow stick down into the tunnel, and it slowly fades away to the darkness.
I didn't hear it hit the bottom.
Yes. No, you never would.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit hard.
Let me double
on the way down,
check
did we
your
see anything of note?
vision. You do see it land on the bottom. You can have a max vision of up to 40 meters in this water. Or sorry, this would actually be 20 meters. But either way, you'll see it hit the bottom. It's not that far down.
Another
Well,
20
plus the
meters
glow stick
down.
is producing light, right?
Yeah, though you see the glowing glow stick very far down. It's just a pinprick at that point, probably, through the water, which is hard to see through, but you can see it has stopped.
And we didn't get any type of details on the way down. Doesn't look like there's any tunnels or anything that jet off from it. Did we?
I don't
Did
think
we
you
see
saw
the
that
eel?
from. Yeah, you didn't see that from the when you dropped it. You didn't see the eel. No. Yes, slithered off.
This stuff down here is just like coral formations, right?
It is, yes, another type of plant life.
Okay.
Unless you want to stick your hand in there and find out.
Nope.
Might keep
Nope,
your
nope, nope.
powers.
Might also take my hand off, and I'll need my shooting hand.
Well, don't stick your main hand in there.
Well, I need the other hand to
wide
hold
is
the
this
rifle, though.
That hole is, I think, about almost 3 meters. Fairly large hole.
Not terribly tight. Hope nobody's got claustrophobic tendencies.
Well, let's scout out that other main room first, yeah? Or do we want to head down here?
I suppose we could check that other room out. I mean, how are we doing on air? I'll try and find a gauge for air.
Well, you still got about an hour.
Everybody good?
Still got a few bars of oxygen left. About half a tank.
Let's head back to the reef.
Assume regular positions.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Arachne.
but keep
Arachne,
just
stop-
keep an eye on
stop
that
focusing
crab.
on the crab.
It's trust me, it's gonna do something.
Yeah,
Still
you're gonna
no
make it
sign-
into a thing.
Still no signs of people that
The last crab attacked us in Cuba, and we ate him.
It was a part of our party, and you murdered him.
It's amazing how different points of view can change the entire story.
I mean, he was delicious. That part doesn't change, but
I'm actually allergic to crab, so keep them away from me.
it's weird as a person who wants to live underwater.
Down where it's wetter.
Tap, tap.
I've got you covered, Nick,
Yep.
from over here.
When I get the sense that Arachne's no longer following me.
She isn't.
We got a
Just
big
blocking the pathway.
collapsed
Arachne-
tunnel in here. I'm gonna try to shoo
Hi.
away this lobster. Goddamn brave
is it the
lobster.
same one?
Yeah. It's like inches away from me. Alright, there he goes.
It is a really large lobster, abnormally large lobster. It is over 1 meter long.
Ooh. I think I know a guy that might pay us a grand for that.
I scared him away on accident.
You know
It's a
what? If
tight
you see
fit.
one on the way out, grab it.
Yeah.
So you see along the rocks of the wall this very smooth rock surface in front of you.
That's this here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ground around it look like? Does it look disturbed? Does it look
It
pretty?
looks really flat, like the way a polished rock would. Very smooth and very, very flat.
And what's this?
It's another small rock. It is, this one has a little bit more texture to it, but it still looks exceptionally smooth, almost like somebody sculpted it, or it was man-made.
I'm gonna run my hands along it and look for anything that might be like a button.
Search for hidden doors.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this can open. I don't know why, but I feel like it can.
Have you checked to see if maybe there's a place where that rock should go into this bigger rock?
You check it out. I'm polishing this rock.
I seem to recall a movie where to get through a secret door, they had to seek friend and enter.
I don't think it'll work, I think it'll come out like... So yeah.
I do have sci-fi knowledge. Sci-fi traits.
Is sci-fi normally underwater?
Stargate Atlantis was.
Oh,
And they had little rock devices that open doors all the fucking time.
This
Abyss.
is a good point. Like seeing a pattern even if there's not one there.
A sphere?
So if we end up on another planet, I'm gonna shoot you.
Give me a texture check, Nick.
The chevrons are locking.
Sphere.
Two hits.
Alright. You start moving around this rock, and it's not very big, and you pick it up, and you see underneath of it is this little... best to describe it. It looks like a starfish, but it
Starfish?
is
Stargate?
carved out of some type of bone.
There's a connection here.
I found the Stargate. I found the 8th chevron. Okay, so it's not a real starfish. It is a sculpture of a starfish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very immaculately crafted.
I found something. I'm gonna gingerly set the rock down next to it and try to pick up the carving.
It's a key. I look in the big rock. Is there a starfish hole somewhere?
There is not a starfish hole. There's not a little magnetic slide on the back. That's where they hide their key. In case they get locked out of the house.
Damn, I really thought there was gonna be a starfish hole.
That's not something I've ever heard before.
Everyone give me your logic plus your willpower.
I hate it when you tell me to do that.
Just a fear effect.
Can I
It's
substitute
not a
any
fear
other
effect.
stats for those two?
Hold on while I go put in a creature that has fear just for... Hold on. Let me
I
go see what
asked
we
because
got.
I have a bonus, not because I am asking for one.
Oh.
I would be happy if I never got to apply guts ever. That'd be totally fine.
Did you know giraffes have feet? No, that's...
As a giraffe swims out of the northern tunnel.
You know what? If a giraffe swam out of the northern tunnel, that would be way scarier than a shark or an eel. Because he doesn't belong down here.
Yeah, he's seen some shit. He's done things.
Yeah.
Trust me, when you see a kami shark, you'll know why to fear them.
Just because they're armed now.
Alright, Nick, as you get 4 hits with your logic and willpower, which is fantastic. You hold onto the starfish, and you look up at that wall that used to be there of smooth stone, and it's not there. You see a stairway.
I just swim forward and go, "What'd you do, Arachne?" And I try to like pass my hand. I guess I just start going.
You can just start going. You can keep going.
So
Arachne,
do we still see the rock?
You see a rock. Yeah, you see a rock, and Nick starts swimming through it. This solid stone. He passes through it.
I check my air tank to make sure it says I have the right amount of oxygen versus nitrogen.
It does.
I shake my head.
I
Everybody
close
else
my
got
eyes
that.
and move forward. Then I open up my eyes.
I didn't know you knew magic, Nick.
I have been practicing my sensing. I think the rock's an illusion. See if you could pass through.
I gingerly put my
try?
hand against the rock.
You feel a solid
hopefully.
rock under your fingers.
So right, he just bumped her head into the rock. Is that what
No,
happened when she tried
no.
to follow?
Yeah, and he tries to follow, and she as well just touches this rock.
And I can just like looking back, I just see them like stopping at a fictitious point.
Yep, it's at the foot of the stairs.
Might still seems like there's a rock here, eh?
Okay, guys, we should go back and tell everybody a rock ate Nick.
Guys, I'm right here. I'm inches away from it. Actually, I'm gonna reach out and tap on Arachne's faceplate.
Alright, a finger reaches through the rock, Arachne, and hits you in the face.
I step back.
I reach for the finger.
Pull it! Pull it!
I just poke my head through.
Nick is awkwardly emerging from the rock, like.
Okay, so there's still a rock there, Nick.
Here. Well, here, let me get out so that I don't die.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Are you sure? Just stay there and hand us the thing.
Yeah, I'll try handing Cam the starfish, I guess.
Alright, you have Cam the starfish.
Do I still not see the rock?
You don't see a rock, you see a staircase.
Okay. So I hand her the starfish and then I stare at her expectingly.
Cam looks where the rock is.
Alright. You see a rock.
Here, Cam swims toward and puts her hand on it.
Alright, your hand passes through the rock, you just see your wrist now.
Oh God. She pulls her hand back.
Your hand is there.
Illusion?
I still see a rock, but yeah, I can apparently pass through it now.
Arachne, Johnny, grab the starfish. Touch the rock.
How about
Are we-
somebody holds the starfish and we grab onto that person?
Maybe.
Yeah. It's gonna
It
be
works in the
quite-
movies.
Give it a shot.
Okay.
Everybody hold hands.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Do we need
hold
to
hands
think
for
about-
peace.
I'm not sure about this.
That's alright. You go first.
Okay,
Well,
next
just try-
order, holding hands.
Just try touching the rock while you're holding hands. You might have to hold the starfish.
Okay, I touch the rock again.
Alright, your hand passes through it.
I
Somebody
touch
else.
the rock while touching Cam.
Alright, your hand passes through it.
Okay, this seems to work.
All right. Seriously though, nobody let go.
Good idea.
Nick will swim on ahead because I don't think I need to touch it. Right? I don't even see the rock anymore.
You don't see the rock, you see a staircase.
Alright, so yeah, Nick will go through and lead the way while the rest of them daisy chain behind.
Johnny, get up here and touch Arachne.
Tap, tap,
Are you-
tap.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Guys, I just want
please
to point out
cut
that
it
this
touch.
is happening. Just so we're all on the same page. This right now is happening.
Alright. I've got my eyes closed, so I don't know what.
Just don't let go of either the front or the back.
If I don't see it, I don't believe in it.
And I'll guide Arachne by letting her have an arm on my shoulder.
Alright.
So I imagine they're just seeing the inside of a rock, right?
So yeah, Cam keeps
Yeah,
her eyes
see-
open.
See rock all around each other for at least like a meter, and then you get
That
through.
is not good.
So, Nick, I tell you the time I turned into a rock? This is kind of like the same thing.
I was there for that, wasn't I?
Yeah, it's creepy.
Okay.
And you
Guess it was.
arrive
Oh god, we're gone.
up the top of the staircase. It goes up and up and up, and then you come out here.
Where is forward? Am I trapped?
Oh, you might be trapped. I apologize.
Oh, there we go.
You come
So
out. in a room with these bubbles of air just suspended, almost like balloons would be, but they're just these bubbles.
And they're no longer in a rock, so they can see again, right?
Yep, after you pass through about a meter of rock, you found a staircase. You swam up it and it's more of these stairs that are sort of carved out of the stone, and it has more of a semblance, really, of stairs, as there is no reason you would need to actually climb stairs in water.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Yeah, it looks like someone has been making this place almost appear as if it's more of a human habitat like area. And as you
Getting out of here is gonna be.
you swim up it for about 5 meters or so, you come out in this room that has these bubbles of air inside of it.
Alright. Let's just get in enough so that everybody can be in the room.
No one disturb the bubbles. I think bad things will happen.
Yeah, I don't think we should touch the bubbles. Looks like we got a north and a south. Let's just head north, yeah?
Sounds good.
Cam, you got somewhere to stow that starfish?
I don't know that we actually do.
I have a bag.
What
Just
happens
throw
if
it
you
in
open
the
the
bag.
bag?
Question.
Well, I think it gets wet, right? Like it's...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know what happens. I'm asking him what happens. Is any of the stuff inside the bag not supposed to get wet? Because I remember you saying it was a waterproof bag.
Let me see. I don't know if the med kits are supposed to get wet.
Yeah. Just hold it, guys.
It's a backpack, so open one of the smaller pouches on the front where I don't have that.
That's fair. We stow it in a little Velcro front pouch on the bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, cool.
Alright.
We'll start heading north.
Here's the starfish.
Oh, this is really happening. Here, water. We just
I mean,
went
at
to
some
the rock.
point, if one of us gets hurt, I'm gonna have to find out if that med kit can get wet or not.
Alright, this is looking a lot like the last place. Like a
I'm
long
assuming
hallway
that-
to the left.
Gauze won't be any good.
I found a green brain.
And as you enter
And,
that...
human.
You're not supposed to see that title. Remove that. I have those turned on by default, my apologies. So you start to swim in this room and you see, Nick, this humanoid-like creature. It has a bluish-gray tint to its skin, and it has two big crystal blue eyes that take up most of its face, and then it just has this big, soft, fleshy mound for a head, almost like an octopus.
Kill it with
Shoot.
fire.
It's doggone. Shoot it.
Hold on, what's it doing? What's it doing? Is it just chilling? Is it in a hammock?
Looks like just sitting, or she was in this room, looks like messing with the, as you called it, a brain. This plant life of some form when you have surprised her, and now she's staring at you.
I, slowly raise a hand and wave.
Tell her we're from the
Raises a
National
hand
Institute of
and waves back. She's just got these two long fingers that look almost a little bit more like tentacles on the end of a hand.
She waved back?
Yeah.
I can't communicate with her though, right? Like verbally. Do these things have speakers outside of
Yeah,
the suit?
that's how you've been
External
talking to each
speakers.
other. You have external speakers.
Oh, I thought it was like radio. Like, okay, so it's been external. Okay. Be like, hello? Do you speak English?
It says something back to you in a language you don't recognize, some type of Southeast language, and then she shakes her head like, no.
Seduce her and take her blood.
I seduce her and take her blood.
Give me a con roll.
No.
And don't you have to take your diving suit off first?
I don't have to show everybody my abs to seduce them, alright?
I'd be interested.
God, she doesn't speak English. So I'll do the thing where when you don't know how to speak English, I assume if I speak louder, then you'll understand me. So I'll say, are you changeling?
Just looks at you confused and seems to be very nervous.
I'm like gesturing to my ear, like, can I see your ears?
She just has this big round fleshy head. You see no sign of ears.
Okay, I'm gonna give her a thumbs up. And then I'm gonna wave again. And I'm gonna motion for the team to start heading down the tunnel.
What?
She's not a changeling.
How do you know?
She has a big mound of flesh for a head.
That sounds exactly like what a changeling would look like.
Well, this one doesn't have ears.
To tell her we're from the National Surface Medical College, and we came here and we need her blood.
I still think we should take the blood sample.
She's slowly like pulling up the net she has on hand and picks up the little harpoon she has.
She's gonna hit me.
She's got a weapon!
She's gonna hit me with a harpoon. I think I'm just gonna keep giving her the thumbs up and the wave, and come on, guys. I just don't want to get stabbed with the harpoon today.
So
Hey,
you
maybe
want
that sums up underwater means like Drek.
You could have insulted her.
this way, this way, this way?
My intentions are definitely passive, and
Yes.
not threatening.
Definitely not
We're in the
underwater. You
lair
tried to
of
seduce her.
Sea dragon. Lair of the sea dragon. When we just let the octopus lady go. Sounds like a good plan.
She's not a part of the job.
Anybody behind me?
Yes.
Swim off on
I
my
am here.
own. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
swimming backwards, seeing if stupid mound of flesh lady comes out.
So, Nick, are you going to tell, that other person in your life that you almost seduced an octopus lady?
She
Hey.
peeks
Hey.
around the corner watching you go with those big ice blue octopus-like eyes.
Hey, bad.
Bad octopus lady. You go back. You go back to your underwater brain.
Try to shoo her away.
Everybody keep up.
It's alright.
Another eel in the house.
Wait, what?
I don't see an eel. I'm just letting you know. It's another room off to the side like that eel, and it's got some plants, and I see a hole.
I'm gonna stay at this corner and peek her. Hey!
I just want to let you know, Nick, this was a terrible idea.
Guys, she just ran into the big room that we came out of.
Well, this could go poorly then, but I mean...
I'm just... Cam, stay there.
Okay, Cam.
That's
Cam backs
down.
up a little bit, actually.
I go this way.
To look this way.
We all scatter.
Don't do that. Don't leave me.
We all did. Everybody went different directions.
Oh, you're terrible. You guys are the
What?
worst.
Why did we go different directions? This wasn't part of the plan.
Told you where I was going.
Cap, you there?
Coming.
You there?
Coming.
Okay. Up.
Damn, she can move.
Stay there.
Are we chasing her now? Is that what we're doing?
I think Nick is into tentacles.
Do you guys got eyes on her? She went through the main chamber.
Yeah,
south.
I can see her, but she's running.
True.
All right, let her go. Right?
I mean,
Right. We're in an enemy fucking base. You just want to let the octopus lady go.
I mean,
Fine,
Or
but
she-
if this comes back to bite us, it's
I don't think she'll
100%
bite
your
us.
fault.
She didn't have a mouth.
But she's got tentacles.
All right,
She had a mouth,
we're
she
moving
spoke
back.
to you.
I know.
words. I'm pretty sure I heard them.
All right, Arachne, let's
We
go
can-
check out her room.
Yeah, we'll move
Okay.
back towards. You're going into the room that she came out of.
Yeah.
Wait. You wanted to seduce the tentacle lady. Now that she's gone, you want to rifle through her stuff.
Yes.
You're a strange person, Nick.
Lead the way, Arachne.
ahead, Johnny.
Wait,
Okay.
you just
Just
want me to
say-
go see what that brain thing is, isn't it? You go
Alright.
first.
Alright, she's got friends.
Nope.
Hey, wait there, wait there. Everyone pause. Roll initiative.
She's
Pause.
got friends.
No, what are you doing, Johnny? She started yelling. She's got friends.
Oh no. It's like 20 turns
I
away.
don't even think Arachne and Nick can hear that actually.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Water.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Oh, gotta click my icon.
What are you doing? I guess Johnny and Cam.
I'm not making any threatening moves. I'm just observing and reporting, except
Okay.
without the reporting part.
The other one as
But
No.
thanks
well.
for being here, Cam.
The other one as well has a hold of a net, and this one though appears to be male. It again has that big sort of octopus style head. He's got big, thick black eyes, and looks to be fairly muscular, wearing a little more than like a wetsuit, sort of like you guys are. And
I attempt to speak fish.
he actually has full normal human hands. You attempt to speak fish.
Yeah.
What fish says that?
I don't, it's from Futurama.
Yeah.
He responds in again a Southeast Asian language of some manner.
I wish he just spoke English. That'd be great.
Do you speak English? I do the same, slow and loud.
He grabs hold of his ear, like one or a hand where he should have ears if he, didn't have an octopus style head, and just shakes his head and looks at you menacingly.
I menacingly look back. If I'm gonna get stared down,
This is how wars have started.
Johnny, we should back up. Back into the tunnel, Johnny.
okay.
I do not want to be separated.
Tell me when I'm back to the tunnel. I'm
You're
keeping
back
an
to the
eye on
tunnel.
these things.
I'm back.
Alright.
They're following you, aren't they?
Do you want the truth or a comfortable,
truth?
safe answer?
All right.
They're not following me.
Back just a little more.
Doing you.
They're absolutely following me.
Room now, at least.
Okay, they're moving along. Moving
Where are
along.
Arachne and I at this point?
You guys can start moving again. You're where you're currently at. You see Johnny and Cam start to come toward you.
Okay, they're moving towards the other room that we swam past, Cam.
Okay, so
I've lost visual on them now.
Nick, hi 9 to 5.
Hello. How you
So
doing?
we saw the lady, and I think maybe we found her like spouse or brother or dad or son or something.
Was it one more person?
Yeah, it's probably a good thing you didn't try and seduce her. I think her boyfriend would have been angry.
That's probably why he is angry.
Because it was offensive. No, you know what? I'm not going there, Arachne.
He's just jealous of those abs.
They're really flat.
Hey,
Ah,
Nick
they-
wants to
they-
go through her stuff.
I'm an adept. Adept.
Okay. Did you find anything?
Right, we were gonna go up into that room. Did we do that during that conversation, or were we frozen in time?
I think you were frozen the time a little bit as you guys started moving back south toward where you are now, right?
Well, that was with the assumption that we could hear our friends, but if we couldn't have heard them, I mean, we would have continued just going towards the room.
I would say you could hear the sounds. You might not have been able to understand the context of the situation, but you
Okay,
also get a
that's
plus
true, yeah,
one for sound presence. Well,
Then yeah, we probably froze and we're trying to decipher if our friends are being attacked. So yeah, since we see them, we'll swim down. Here, so
Okay.
no, we didn't go into her room.
Okay. I didn't see what was further past them. Was there anything? Was it a dead end?
It was like the same room as what they saw at the top there, with a green brain plant in it. Looked like a small room.
So it's safe to say that our presence is known.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and swim. What do you think? Do we go? Let's go to the right and see if that leads anywhere, or do we want to go? Let's go follow our new friends. We may need to find a way of communicating with them.
All together. All together. Trusting people are behind me. I'm still behind Johnny.
While Nick, waiting for Arachne to pass, is going to swim to this little doorway for a moment and just take a peek inside in case I see anything of note.
It's another one of those odd plants that you noticed the woman looking at.
How was she interacting with it?
It looked like she had been just sitting around observing it or staring at it.
Alright. Hold up for a second, guys.
Alright, holding on this corner.
I see another one of those weird plants. I wanna go touch it, so that's gonna happen.
That's how people lose hands.
Take a sample.
Yeah. Arachne, come with.
I don't want to lose a hand.
You don't have
You
to
might
touch
need
it.
to pull him out.
Touch me. Get up close to it and kind of just observe it for a moment, not with touching it, but just up close. Does it seem to be alive? Does it seem to be acid? Does it seem to be
It's a plant.
chocolate?
It looks like it's currently it's very solid or very dense, so it's not like flowing in the water or anything of that nature, and it's just sitting there. It's got these kind of like curly little folds to it, like the inside of almost like a flower, and it's very nicely rounded, more so rounded than a wild plant might normally be.
Okay. Does it look thick enough that I could stick it with the gun?
Yeah. If you tried to stick it like the gun on on it, it would probably pierce it a little bit. Or do you want to try to slip it into a fold of the plant?
Wherever I can get the best poke with the needle, and then see if I can't draw a substance out of it.
Okay, I will remind you. Yeah, you can do that. You can stab it, and it does have a thicker bit to it, and you start pulling out kind of this greenish, thick, slurpy like liquid out of it.
Flirpy, you say?
Slurpy.
Okay.
Oh, God, I just realized why you said it that way. Yep, Nick, you can try to eat it if you want.
Alright, well that happened. I'll switch the chambers on my little needler and motion to Arachne that I'm not dead.
Thumbs up.
And start swimming back.
Anything?
Got a Slurpee out of it.
I do
Looks like-
not recommend you drink that.
Looks like green apple. Yeah, I'm not big on the sour taste.
Wait, these suits come with a straw.
Mine did.
Man.
I can try it.
Let's go ahead and check on our friends. I don't know what that plant is. Maybe like a food source, I don't know. I'm hungry.
Did you just eat before you got here, Nick? Alright, you swim up to the corner and you see...
Take a peek.
Yeah, what do you see?
Okay, it looks clear currently, everyone. I can't see
Okay.
anything.
Just
Looks like there's a hole. Down or up? I assume down. But, you know,
this one-
dimensions might be different on the map.
This one actually goes up.
Okay, there's a hole
What's
that goes up.
Was the staircase we previously encountered going up or down?
It went
Yeah,
up.
it went up.
And this hole goes up. So that's not the hole
Right.
that we
I
dropped
do a
the
quick
light
check
sticker.
on our oxygen again.
You're still good. You have about probably 80 minutes now.
Hey, we're gaining time.
Yeah, well done.
Oh, whoops,
Everybody
that's not
conserve
right.
air.
You're
Conserve air better. It will keep gaining time.
50
We all
minutes.
just blew back
sorry.
into our rebreathers.
That count.
You have
Got
50
CO2 scrubbers in our tanks.
you have about 50 minutes left.
Alright. Shouldn't have said anything. This is the.
Yes, went
This
up
is
to the silver
probably where
corner.
they went. So let's.
I mean, I would have to imagine.
I've got my harpoon ready.
We kind of don't have any other options at this point.
Try to spread as much as we can. Let's see if we might be able to go 3 wide here. I'll still cover the back.
Also,
What's this grassy thing in front of me? I don't want to get tangled in that. Try. Does it have enough room for me to swim over it or under it, as the case may be?
You can swim over it. Yes, these are about 3-meter wide tall caverns. Some are 4 or 5, depending on
Okay.
where you're swimming through, like this bigger room, and then they're obviously really big.
okay.
Okay, those things. There's some weird looking things in here.
Yeah, somebody flank me. All right.
We got some
Looking
weird
back.
looking things and some more rocks.
Apparently they can hear us as well. So you know.
They
Wow.
don't seem to
This-
have light sources, so they got to be sensing us somehow.
I'm certainly hoping these weird looking things don't have ears because they're
You're calling them
disturbing
weird
enough.
things.
They look
Flank?
like a patch of frog's eggs. Wait, frogs lay eggs? I think so.
Yes.
Fish eggs. Definitely fish eggs.
Frogs definitely don't lay fish eggs.
That they do not.
But
Okay,
these
so-
definitely look like a clutch of eggs.
Left
I
seems
don't-
clear.
I don't see anything. Oh,
To the north of us.
yeah, that's good. That's fine.
No, that's
I,
far from fine.
I don't think there's any reason to mess with eggs.
To be
Or
even in the same room as the eggs is just not
Or
a good
rubble.
situation. Yeah, there's some more rocks down there. Is that a secret path?
Do I
Somebody wanna grab the
do I see
starfish out of
rocks
my
to the
bag?
south?
Oh, you do see rocks to the south.
Alright, I'll point out the fact that I see these rocks.
Do you want to take the starfish and see if you can walk through them?
Yes, I do. I'll match the starfish out of his pouch.
Okay.
Head to the south. Run my hand along the what looks like debris.
You feel slick and smooth rocks.
Seems legit. I look up. I mean, like, is there an obvious, like collapse here? Or, like, where did these rocks come from?
There's not an obvious collapse there. That's a good question. It does not look like they've been pulled from the walls or anything or the ceiling.
Strange.
They are again that very overly smooth form of rock, almost like a sculptor has made them.
Or this might be his supply. Try to pick one up and move it.
It's a very, very heavy rock.
Any
Probably
of them not so heavy?
There's some smaller ones around, they're more like a stone size. You can pick up fairly easily.
Yeah, I'll just do some digging to see if there's any contraptions or anything.
No, you don't find any contraptions. It's just a small pile of rocks.
seems like a dead end. Our friends must have went down the hole, yeah? Or up the hole? Down the hole? Up the hole.
Yes.
Have another one of those light sticks?
Well, do you want me to throw it up there?
Oh yeah, it doesn't work that way, right?
I'm starting to wonder if you have an actual firm grasp on how gravity works.
It's confusing. Makes me think of apples.
You may be suffering from hypoxia.
Maybe we tape one of those glow sticks to your harpoon and shoot that up.
Do you know how much these harpoons cost?
Can you not recover it?
I mean,
I mean,
we've
I
got hit lamp,
assume
right?
not. Like, I think out of character, I assume that, like, we can't, because I think there was something about Bo not being able to recover his arrows, and I assume it worked similar way to that, but...
So your more issue would, if you were just shooting it and it hit nothing, you could probably get it back. If you shoot it and it, you know, mashes the end against a rock face, it may not be as usable afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't exactly have twine or anything to tie it to the harpoon.
Okay, well, it's up, or we go back and we go down the hole that the eel went down.
We know our friends went this way. So do this shit.
Okay.
I
Alright,
think we'll start swimming.
you start swimming into the hole, and we're at like 2.5 hours, so we'll take our break.
Woo.
Woo.
Wonderful.
Into the hole. Be right back.